Right, I have seen. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. Pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks, everyone. So he's just reviewing minutes from the previous two meetings.
So I'll move to approve the minutes from May 21.
I'll second that. Favor.
I would like to, a couple of corrections. So Cindy Neely's name only has one L. And then on number 5, I would like to add, we considered the timing, but we also considered that we had just signed the TAN for 1.2 million, and that factored into our decision to not pay the nonprofits early. Those are the only two things I have in that one.
Have a motion approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And I'm still being, sorry.
That's good.
Doesn't sound familiar because I live in that section. I think we'll still work on that one, right? Okay.
Until Scott's here.
And wasn't at this one, but I'll move to approve the non-public minutes from May 21.
Second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Meeting House Preservation Committee study.
We have a request to spend $1,437 for an archaeological study. And we're applying for 2 grants. The 19th and the 21st of this month. And they're both government grants, and there's a state law that says when you have a government grant and you're going to disturb the earth, you will have to do an archaeological study. We have had an assessment of the building, a preservation plan put together. Andrew Cushing, who's a professional historical preservationist, has put that together at no cost to the town. But it identifies several things wrong with the building, one of which is very obvious. If you walk around the north side of the building, the drain tiles that are along the edge to carry the rainwater away are above ground. And so those need to be reset deep and allow for proper drainage with stone and fabric. But that means we're digging, and that means we need an archaeological study. So we can do it now before we get the grant. If we get any government grant, we're going to have to do it. And we certainly hope we get a government grant of one another downstream. We could wait to do it until we get the award. The disadvantage there is archaeologists don't work in the winter because the ground is covered, and the award will be in mid-November or later. And we have to get in line. There'll be other people asking to have studies, and it might be summer before we get started, and that delays the whole project. So it's a small amount of money. We'd rather do it now.
Do you have an estimate on the digging?
On the what?
On the digging?
Yes, but do I know what it
Yeah,
is?
do you have an estimate on that cost?
Oh, the cost. Yes, I just finished with Mike Zanny a few minutes ago, and it's $6,500.
And John, you're asking for that to come from the Meeting House
The trust fund.
Preservation Fund?
Yeah.
Okay. And that's,
Both the 65 and the 14? Or
No, just the 14.
Okay.
and the 65 from.
Well, that's the next thing I'd like to discuss with you.
Okay.
We'll be submitting 2 proposals at the mid-month, the 19th and the 21st.
Okay.
And here's a quick summary. What we'd like is to get the 1437 approved today, and then for the L-chip bid, they allow us to show matching funds. And we would like to say that Chet's gonna work really hard on this, and Carrie Ann's gonna work really hard on this, and Rebel is, and the whole town office is gonna get together, even Monica's are gonna help. And the whole town office is gonna get together, and 5%, which is about $33,750, would be a matching grant, but the
How much?
$3,750.
30,000.
I probably did. Yeah, so that would represent the amount of time they would spend on this, reviewing documents, negotiating various things that have to happen, and issuing checks, and a variety of things that have to happen. So that would be work spent on this grant, this project, but we wouldn't actually bill the project for their time. So that's a request to get the approval for 5% administrative time. And the next request is to take 59,000 from the trust fund for the L-chip tower grant, and 4,000 from the Meeting House Trust Fund for the Moose Plate North Wall Window Grant. And that's money which is in there. That'll deplete the fund. There'll be $2,000 roughly left in the fund. And then also we'd like to ask for 12,000 from this year's operating budget against L-chip, and 4,000 from this year's operating budget against Moose Plate. Now, we don't actually have to spend this money in 2004, except we're probably legally bound to do that because we have to commit the money. And I think the only way you can commit money is through the operating budget at this point. So that's now in the annual budget that we put together last year. We put in 44,000 for government buildings maintenance and repair, and we've spent like 20,000 of that already. 21, and
Most of that went to the senior center roof.
okay. So we'd like a total of 16,000 of that, which is consistent with the 20,000 that we asked for in that $44,000 line.
So the 16 was a pre-planned expense and ask for the meeting house?
Yes, and because with L-chip, you have to match, and to say that the Byrne Foundation and Mascoma Bank and Bar Harbor Bank and all of these people, and 27,000 from individuals, and the town didn't cough up a nickel is not realistic.
No, I understand. I just
Yeah.
having not been on the budget committee last year. I just want to make sure like that was actually
That was in the budget, yes,
for meeting.
yes, right.
So were you going to say something? You,
So we're,
oh,
then there is a more detailed sheet, which I did email you, but you may have looked at this, so you may have been too busy and not looked at it. It kind of breaks down some of the matching that happens. So we do have a little more fundraising to do. L-chip wants to know where your money's gonna come from, and so we have to say that we have almost everything we need, but this summer we'll need to raise an additional $640 to fill out the needs for L-chip. The same thing with Moose Plate, except they don't insist that you talk about this year. They're willing to wait for March of 2026. You'll raise $620 by then. Other than that, with the operating budget funds, we have everything in place to do the project as planned. Our numbers are still flaky in that we're still getting final numbers from contractors. And Michael Zanning just gave us one this afternoon, and I need another one from the window guy. So some of these numbers will wiggle out, but we're talking 1,000 here and 1,000 there. There's not much dramatic movement.
So is that subject to change if they find something?
Well, it's very unlikely that they're gonna find something, because the areas are areas we've dug before.
Yeah.
It's the foundation, and that's been worked on many times, so the chances of them saying that Eureka, here's the Mayflower, we gotta extract it, very small, so.
Good.
But yes, that is a risk, I mean, they could find something, and
Good.
there's a skeleton of,
Little skeleton.
it-
Had enough.
oh, it might be Adam and Eve, this was the beginning, right here.
And are you getting bids just from one contractor? and-
We went out for bids on the whole tower package.
Okay.
We went out to, I think it was 8 different bidders. Nobody responded. So we went back and we pleaded with 2 of them, and 1 of them responded. So we have 1 bid. What we'll do again is when we win the grant, we'll go through another bidding cycle. Some of these people don't want to mess with you because they know you're going through this preliminary stuff and you're not really ready to give them a contract. Whereas if we go back to them in November, December and say, we got the money in hand, you please give us a bid, there'll be more interest at that time.
And then for the dirt work, the digging,
The dirt work is, that's, well, we got a bid from Michael Zani, and it's for 6,500, and we can put that out to multiple bids if we choose, or the town can do it. So
I just think.
we
it's
got a brand new
important to-
backhoe, right?
Well, and I think it's important to, I mean, Michael's a great guy, I think he does great work, I just think it's important if we let other local contractors or, you know. Earth movers bid on it too, and then we can compare, that's what I think, but, cause it's not like you're going to be. How soon is it going to, you're going to be digging?
That's not urgent, we got plenty of time. I mean, probably the spring of 2025, but
So you're asking tonight for us to approve for the 1437 for the study,
that's right.
which is going to come out of all of the money that you have so fabulously raised.
That's right.
I will move to approve that.
I will second that as well. I'd like to wait on the other things and talk to Carrie Ann and just
Yeah,
clear my head with that, so,
Same thing, yeah.
all right.
Okay. And the other thing is, are you receptive to the 5% administrative donated time?
I'm receptive to it, but again, I just want to run it by Carrie Ann and just in the chat and,
Okay, all
okay,
right.
so we'll have an answer hopefully, or bring it back up on the 18th.
I mean, it
Yeah.
certainly seems like that, like Carrie had especially in chat will be involved to
Yeah.
some degree, so.
So all in favor of the 1437 approval?
I,
Aye,
And the numbers may wiggle a bit, so I may email you during the week.
okay.
okay, so, I mean, do you want us to approve, you know, up to like 1,700?
Or,
So you can
well,
just
Or
go
is
with
it
it?
the 14?
that would be great if you could
Okay,
do
well,
up to
I'm
17.
gonna move to amend our notes, I guess it's the second motion because we already voted. I'm going to make a motion that we, can allow you to expend up to 1,700 without coming back to us.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Oh, you are gonna second it? Okay, good.
So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Good. Anything else?
No, on Tuesday, when we meet for the select board meeting, we'll ask you to approve it. And the way this gets submitted is Susan pushes a button at the bottom of the electronic page and it goes in. She'll need to be authorized to push the button.
Okay. All right, so we can.
There's more work than just pushing the button, we just wanna acknowledge. that.
Believe
Yes,
me,
yeah, I
believe
know.
me, we will have PhD and CPAs after this
That's
process.
Yeah.
final.
LTIP is
Right.
involved, definitely will. So do we need another vote on that just to authorize her to be able to,
Well, we can do that.
I think that's what he's talking about
On
the
18th,
18th,
yeah,
when
just
we
put-
talk about the rest
so
of
you're
the
gonna put that
project.
together, I just gotta
Because-
figure who's gonna put that together for a vote, so
Well, it'll just be another list of
that's fine.
numbers
Okay,
and it'll just be a verbal authorization to allow her to,
Yeah, because what we're doing is we're committing to all the matching funds.
Yeah.
Is what the
Understood.
issue is.
All right, so you'll bring this back to Carrie Ann and
Yep.
this one's like, okay, perfect.
thanks.
Thank you both for all.
Well, and-
bringing it to this.
Hopefully she'll be feeling better by the time we have.
and she's gonna find $4,000, right?
Yeah,
The annual report doesn't agree with it.
we will fix that.
All right, the petition for the special town meeting,
But the next-
next,
Yeah, we are the select board needs to authorize our attorney to petition the court for a special town meeting. This is so we can accept the grant money for the water for the lead separation and also the grant for the $1.4 million for the main line going into the tank. We have filled out all this information and we will be advertising it for 10 days in the paper and publicly so that anybody has a chance to say anything before the court votes on it. And we also have a timeline, there's one extra month that we didn't anticipate because we will have to have another budget committee hearing and a deliberative session. And then move forward with the actual public hearing and then move forward with the vote. So it'll happen likely in September.
So deliberative is gonna be before the public hearing, or the public hearing is before deliberative?
I believe we have a hearing first, then and then we'll have another.
Yep.
Review and then the meeting. So everything's like got 25 and 28 day
Yeah.
delays.
Understood.
So we just want to get this process started because we don't want to get past the state's fiscal year, which would then put the $780,000 at risk.
Yeah. So I'll make a motion to move forward with the petition process.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
And there's 3 sheets for you guys to sign.
Yes.
The last meeting. The last meeting.
Who's talking about ambulance purchase?
I am, met with the Jordan and they've gone through a couple of times with different ambulance quotes. The one that was settled on, we now are ready to order. That's what we're asking for authorization. The warrant article was for a little over $302,000. And this purchase will come in at $229,086. And it will also be delivered in about 90 days. So basically, we'd be looking at authorization to sign the contract and order. And also to have the check prepared. It's 100% payment upon receipt of the unit and acceptance.
Oh, I like the new price, but why? That's a big difference.
$3, $3,000, $229,000 from 302,
302 and 229, you said.
299. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
He mistakenly said 300.
Yeah, that was like, oopsie,
All right.
no, it is 229.
So what was the original?
The 302 is what they want. These are,
The original warrant article was only for like the 232, I believe.
right.
I'd have to look out.
Oh, that's what I'm saying wrong. It's not
Yeah,
302, it's 232. I did that backwards. I didn't make that.
rather because it's taking out the money from the capital reserve and then the
Right.
other money was basically the revolving fund.
Yeah. It's
Is there a trade-in
$3,000
worked in
difference.
with that? Is there a trade-in worked in with that?
Yes,
What's the trade-in value? Because at one point, there was like 2 or 3 different numbers floating around with that thing. And then,
The trade-in is $6,000.
there we go.
You're right, it was 232, 706.
I said 302. I'm dyslexic tonight.
So it's closer, I'm just thinking.
Yeah, I know it was off by $3,000.
Oh,
but I
so it's
just said-
going up 60 grand, is what you're saying?
No.
No.
It was-
229 versus
220,
232.
229 is correct, all right, all right.
229 is correct, 232
Got it.
was the thing, and I said it backwards.
Got it.
Sorry.
So can I ask a question about, AMS or MC, EMT, which ambulance is being purchased? Is it a diesel or is it the other one?
It is not a diesel, it's a gas 350.
Okay. And were they fire and EMS chiefs involved in this decision at all? Or
When you say EMS chiefs,
The acting fire and EMS chiefs, were they involved in the decision?
as far as I know, this is one of the couple that they looked at all along and they were just selecting between the two.
Okay, I just want to make sure they were involved.
Yes, they were involved in the early parts, yes. Not in the last couple of weeks. We're just waiting to see what the availabilities were.
Thank you.
I don't believe we have an acting EMS chief.
Not at this time, that's why it hasn't been, but I know they were involved with the preparation of which were the two options that we were looking at.
So I thought that Rick Goldberg was acting interim fire and EMS. chief.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Is fire and EMS?
Yes, it's always been that way.
Motion,
So moved.
all in favor of the 229 price for the ambulance purchase, say aye. Aye.
Mhm.
Good. You're up,
I'm up.
check.
Just a couple of updates. One is the R&D started grading today on South Road. And on Friday, they're gonna start putting down blacktop. So hopefully that will be done in a couple of weeks. Our highway supervisor is coming in on Thursday, our new highway supervisor, Bob Henry. And he will be just signing up and everything. His official start date is July 1. We have reposted our mechanics position. The mechanic decided this wasn't a position he wanted to work with, but we are still using Guy for our contracted services to do all of our mechanics work at this time,
Almost all.
almost all. There will be another request. It'll probably be the second meeting in July where we will have a public hearing for the bridge alignment selection for Grist Mill Road Bridge. They have come to a conclusion that we are not going to be raising Route 4. So there's three options.
Good.
One of them is a 90-degree option, one is exactly in the same spot, and one is adjacent to the current spot. And we will go over all of those things, but I wanted to let you know we will be putting that on the
Okay.
agenda. And didn't know if you have any opinion, and we can decide this later. If we're adding a hearing like that, would you like to start an hour earlier or just start at 6 and we put that in the regular meeting? Because they have to announce it to the state, so,
Let's just put it in the regular meeting.
okay.
Yeah.
Also, in talking with Hugh, the farmer's market parking has had some difficulties with parking along the edge of the road and site distances onto Route 4. When we had the event this past Saturday night, they said that the barriers we put up actually did a great job of keeping those site distances open, and I think they're requesting that we maintain that alignment, and Hugh can talk about the specifics.
So, talking with Ryan before we put that up.
Yeah.
It's been an ongoing issue, the bigger that farmer's market
Yeah.
grows. When you come out on the common lane, come on to Route 4.
Right,
They're always parked right up basically to the stop sign, you can't see out of there.
okay,
So when we broke down the stuff from Friday night's event, we left this section on there.
you're talking about the cones of the tape,
All of them taped.
yeah,
And Joey said that actually worked fairly well, some of it got moved around and stuff, so.
okay,
We had a conversation with the DOT. And they are fine with us putting basically delineators along the edge of the pavement, just as long as we pull them for the winter plowing, so they have maintenance to get that in. So
all right. For just that corner, or you want to come up
Just-
all the whole side?
just that corner right there, so you can see them. But
Okay,
it's the real problem is when you come to the stop sign and like, talking to Ryan, he actually brought it up. He says, we'll see how this works. When you come to the stop sign, by the time you're creeped out the way that corner swoops.
yeah,
You're front end way out into the travel lane and Route 4, and then you're pretty much committed to. You're right there, and. that seemed to work this weekend with stuff, so
Good.
I talked to him again today, if we can make it happen, let's make it happen.
are we gonna keep the crosswalk signs up too, even if, I know one got run over, but,
Yeah, the plan is,
Yeah.
well, the plan is to actually get the crosswalks and stuff painted.
well, and, yeah, no, but we have the plastic stand.
Yeah,
whatever.
one got dumped off and run over, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna put some new bolts into that, but.
Okay.
Left them up there, try to slow some traffic
Good,
down through.
good,
So do you need official authorization, like through a motion, or are you good with everybody's happy?
I'm good with it.
Yeah,
I think it's
okay.
great. They're fine.
If we can slow people coming down through town, that's good.
Yeah.
And the next item is also from you, the speed bumps that were on, I forget the name of the road.
Hill Court. and-
Yeah, that were,
Was Robin
Yeah.
and Monica got a message about those.
Oh, you did? Okay.
yeah, that there was issues when they had to take last year's out, they haven't been put back yet, and we would have to buy a set. And I think it was like $1,300. Yeah, right around there.
Or just one set got damaged.
That's all. Well, I can't. I
It's,
can only find
it's $1,372.
I can only find one 6-foot section.
Of out of all of them?
Yeah,
Because
I know,
there were 3 sets. There's 2 on Hill Court and there's 1 on the next one. So
I do remember the
Yeah.
tobacco one up there ripped those out because we didn't use the appropriate anchors last spring to put them in.
because we couldn't find, they couldn't find the anchors. From what I heard, but,
Past.
Why do we have those on those streets only? I mean, there's.
well, Hill Court was originally because the dog got hit and the family complained and asked for a speed bump, so. And then they got put on High Street before I was just like. So,
Yeah, and they've been in there forever, and we have.
yeah, they go up every summer.
Little.
Yeah.
Neighborhoods that don't.
I mean,
put them.
I'm gonna abstain from it because
Because it's on your road.
it's on my roads. I got enough crap last year, just getting them out there.
Yes, we can't even vote on it then.
Right,
Okay, so,
so you
Yeah.
need 3 sets and they're $1,300 a piece, just so I know.
no, it's $1,300 for the whole 6.
Yeah, it's a quick 30 online section.
$1,372 for 6 sets.
That should have the shipping included in there. I think.
Yeah, the shipping's through $400 of
So
it.
that was a heavier duty sets.
Oh, why don't we just do asphalt wider ones? Then we don't have to mess with them.
That was discussion also.
And we get a cost on that, because that's not the only roads I think they should be on, to be honest with you.
And then-
If we did an asphalt one, you can plow over.
That's something we get from RNG, because they're gonna have, somebody's gonna have to come back and do that bridge eventually too. So.
I mean, there was people complaining about the asphalt that the plows couldn't go over easily, that there were issues. with
Well,
that.
there's different styles, we have to widen them out,
So,
Yeah,
okay,
you go wider with a different slope to them, so they actually.
but you still feel.
yeah. Let's get a cost on that, just out of curiosity. So, I
Okay.
mean, I think you use less than, so.
And that's all I have for my update. And then the
Have
other
we-
business was the bathhouse.
Yeah, one more thing. Have we started to look for a skid steer for the transfer station?
I've actually I've been in contact with, when we got the 2 deliveries, I had talked to Jeff Slade and he said there was one coming in off of, but they were taken in trade. And he was gonna let me know, and I
Okay.
just left another message for him today.
All right, okay. Yeah, so bathhouse up at the beach.
Yeah.
I got a call that, the lake hosts are not allowed to lock it up. Cause it falls outside of their purview of what they get the grant money for. I think the police department's been locking it up at 6. I don't know who opens it up, but we need to figure out what the plan is up there. And
Yeah.
I don't even know, I mean, it seems like it's an awful lot of work, if it would be worthwhile just to put a bath, a porta potty up there and.
The issue actually
So-
is primarily, because in talking to Ryan, the issue is them being able to be consistent with being able to lock them up at night. The opening is probably less of a problem now that we have another groundskeeping guy. We can just say, hey, we're gonna go open them up. That's
Mhm.
part of it. But then on the weekends, we have that issue. So we're looking at, I wanted to have a conversation with a couple people and figure out, what we can do, but, we're trying to not use the police department to.
No, I mean, we've had vandalism up there in the past when
Right,
when it hasn't been done and, people cramming the toilet with the toilet paper and.
right.
And I don't know if the toilet, like a porta potty service would come in and clean it and do all that.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
wouldn't do
we don't-
any of it.
That's hands off if we go that route.
Right. So we should probably figure out what the cost of that is too.
Okay.
I think there's restrictions on those things too. You gotta be careful how close it is to the water. And,
On the porta potties?
and they stink.
No, they stink if they're not maintained, but, I mean,
Well, even when they're maintained. The stuff they put in there so you can't smell the real stuff.
no. So anyways, I think we should look at it. So,
Yeah.
All right, because. Whatever.
Quick, just to interject on that point, the restroom at the beach is often used for by parents to change their younger kids. Something that wouldn't be possible in.
Okay. Thank you.
It might be worth a conversation with somebody like a locksmith that might have a timed doorknob that locks automatically.
And we did talk about that possibility. We gotta go look at the power situation and see how we would do that. But
Thank
yeah,
you, Phil.
We could put internet at the beach.
Well,
I
we're
know. It's like,
probably putting internet to the meeting house.
Exactly.
Alarm and
And
fire,
that-
so.
That's valuable.
I
I mean,
know.
there's a lot of meetings that used to be held there, and a lot of them don't go there now because it's a pain. They
Right.
need the technology.
So,
Understood. And security. Any other business?
do you want to revisit that set of minutes now that Scott's here?
Sure. Sadie wasn't at the meeting, so she should not. So
Oh.
she wasn't willing to sign up on it. I can't understand that.
I didn't see anything.
Make motion to accept. Second, all in favor? Aye. Aye.
All the same.
Have a motion to go into non-public? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, we fixed